Speaking of January 6th, I want to remind you folks real quick, Judicial Watch has sued Ms. Pelosi and D.C. lawmakers for the records about the U.S. Capitol Police shooting and the death of Ashley Babbitt. Joining me now with more details on this lawsuit, the president of Judicial Watch, our pal, Tom Fenton, doing great work at Judicial Watch. Tom, how you been, pal?
Hey, Ken, good to be with you. Thanks for, well, I'm sorry I had to listen to this.
That whole buildup of nonsense from today?
Well, you know, it's a corruption issue. This is a process that's inherently corrupted because in a House that's supposed to have the majority minority party do work, they have frozen out the minority party effectively. There is no appointee of the Republican leadership there, and they're pretending that this is an honest investigation. It's a partisan investigation designed to, A, protect Nancy Pelosi from the consequences of her behavior that in part place people everywhere in the House, everywhere in the Capitol at risk. And on top of that, they want to freeze or harm the ability of President Trump to be a player politically or in the public policy arena, depending on what he chooses. And then, of course, there's 2022. And then there's the rest of us. Remember, this rhetoric is designed to make all of us who are concerned about election integrity or critics of the Biden administration or critics of big government generally to be terrorists and criminals. So I'm concerned with people like Schiff on the committee. We're all going to be spied upon again like they did with Trump and company.
Yeah, it appears, besides it being so partisan, it's disgusting what Nancy's done with this committee. You're right. It's like they want to guilt anybody that's a conservative that has questions about the validity of what went down on the 6th and what we're being told by Democrats, especially Nancy Pelosi. We just want the damn facts, the truth. What's so hard about that, right, Tom? And
Nancy Pelosi is hiding the videos, hiding information about the shooting of Ashley Babbitt. The U.S. Capitol Police has zero transparency requirements. No other major police force in the country, including federal law enforcement, has as much secrecy around it as the Capitol Hill Police. We still don't know what happened on January 6th. And with all due respect to the individual officers, I mean, that's terrible what they went through. But where are the reports? Where are the details about injuries? Where are the details about the shooting of Ashley Babbitt? And if you're going to talk about attacks on federal law enforcement, the fact that they are not bringing in federal law enforcement who were facing mobs of leftists who are trying to burn them to death in Portland for weeks on end into this commission, into this hearing, shows you where their head is at.
Yep, thank you. That's what I point out every single time we bring this up about January 6th is the hypocrisy of the left, because you had political leaders in the House and the Senate screaming defund the police all last year into this year, hundreds of cops injured. I mean, come on, we heard about like the ones in Chicago losing an eye, losing a limb. The things that happened to police officers last year were despicable, but we can't discuss that because what happened on the 6th was an attack on our democracy. And I'm sorry, but those spoiled little 535 babies on both sides of the aisle got so scared that one side at least demands some answers. They're going to push a narrative, push an agenda, and lie to the American people, and we're all getting screwed because we're not getting the facts of what happened. Tom, you did this lawsuit because, let's face it, at the end of the day, and I've asked this question numerous times to political leaders on both sides, who's in charge of telling the sergeant at arms what to do with security at the Capitol? It's the Speaker of the House, right? She had the ability to say, I want more troops. I want the Guard to come here, be on the steps. I want more Capitol Police. She alone had that call, right?
Yeah, riots take place because of decisions by the political leaders who run police departments. And those policemen were inadequately staffed, ill-prepared, despite all the evidence that they needed to have more security around the Capitol. And since then, the Capitol's been essentially on lockdown, and Nancy Pelosi needs to be the subject of this investigation. But I have a feeling Nancy Pelosi's not going to be called. They're going to try to call in members of the House who are supporters of President Trump.
Right.
They're going to target those of us on the outside who raise questions about election integrity. And in the meantime, we're in court trying to get the information that they're pretending to be interested in. We want the videos. We want the email communications. We're asking the Biden administration for information. They're stalling us there. So we've got more lawsuits. I think 7 lawsuits right now on January 6th and its aftermath. What was the FBI doing? Were they monitoring banking records? Is the post office looking at our social media? Those are the mainstream media reports. We're the ones doing the follow-up. And here we have this political circus. It's worse than a circus. It's a political show trial that has no place in a constitutional republic.
Well, Tom, thank you for what you're doing. Please let my producers know and update us as this lawsuit moves forward. Really appreciate it. Tom Fenton, President, Judicial Watch. You take care of yourself.
Hey, you too. Thanks, Tim.
Yep.